Alright guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the new upcoming gacha game, Kaiju number 8, the game. I've been following this for a minute now. They've just done a massive live stream, kind of breaking down the release date, the game's mechanics, actual gameplay demo that we're going to be breaking down in today's video. So if you want to stay more up to date about Kaiju number 8, especially leading up towards the release, if we do get any more information. And of course, alongside the game release, we're going to be covering it quite a bit on this channel, especially considering, may it rest in peace, Black Clover Mobile is, I think, shutting down this month. So we've got to move on. But we'll start off with the two more important things, that being the release date and where it is releasing. The confirmed release date is literally only in a few weeks. On August 31st, it's going to be getting a global release. And unlike, I guess, other gacha games, this will be releasing everywhere. There will only be one version. So there is no Japanese or KR version to get like an early head start. And in fact, literally on screen now are basically all the confirmed characters coming on the launch of the game. Of course, you may recognize the main cast. There are a few OC characters. I believe there is a new group or special defense force that's kind of fitting in the lore of Kaiju called the Closer Group, which is these four right here. In fact, this girl right here hasn't been shown at all in the market. It's only the first time we've seen her, but it is releasing on Apple and also iOS. If you actually click the pre-registration, then it does take you towards the Steam page. We do know there will be a PC port for this game. However, I guess with the recent announcement we've done for the last few days now, there hasn't been a confirmed release date for the actual PC version. Considering they've already announced it well before this even release date, it likely will be coming very, very soon after the release of the game. May even drop alongside the release of the game. Just haven't said anything about it just yet. So like I said, there is a massive stream going over a bunch of the game's mechanics that we're going to be breaking down today's video, so you don't have to sit through an hour and a half of actual footage. And I even got some of my friends to translate what they're saying and what's going on in the gameplay, so we have a better understanding of how the game actually works and plays. So we'll just play the actual trailer in the background right now as we talk about the game quickly, because if you haven't seen the game, it is a kind of like turn-based stamina game, which you'll see in a second right here. So it's very similar towards a lot of those gacha games that you probably likely played, but I think the biggest difference towards this game is probably likely the animations and quality put into towards the game. Honestly, one of the first things I noticed about this game was how like good it looked compared to like other gacha games, right? And actually, even right there, there's a lot of hidden mechanics that you may have not actually realized when you first watched the trailer that they do explain a little more later on the live stream. I'm not too sure if I get the opportunity to talk about it too much, but you did see, obviously, Narumi in there. They are very working close for the looks of it with the actual release of the anime. Kind of the reason pretty why it's releasing now, because it missed off the new season. But there are still a lot of characters that are missing from, I guess, season 1. And if anything, we haven't even seen the powered up versions of the captains. So there are definitely more versions of, you know, the main cast to come. And honestly, if they can release characters alongside when the character shows up in the anime, that would be actually very, very good and very, very hyped. So that would definitely push this game over the top a little bit in terms of hype factor. To be able to watch the character in anime and then appearing in the game right after it, that would be very, very sick actually, I can't even lie. So in terms of all the confirmed characters, we can kind of scroll through it here. These are literally all the confirmed characters in the game right now. Obviously, a lot of them being 4 stars, a lot of them being 5 stars. To kind of go back a little bit to what we just saw earlier on. But yeah, there are still a few characters like OC characters that are in the game, but they have not yet been confirmed playable. These are all the confirmed 5-star characters in this game. Yes, if I haven't actually already mentioned it, it is a gacha game if that wasn't very obvious. It is a mobile game after all. But yeah, these are all the 5-star playable characters. I'm very surprised they did Rin as an actual 5-star. I thought she might have been a 4-star. She's pretty lucky to get in the game in a way, in a sense. So it's kind of a little weird that she's lined up with some of the goats right here. But yeah, these are all the 5 stars. And literally, if you get 1 million pre-registrations, you get to pick a 5-star character off your choice, which kind of removes the rerolling aspect of the game. I'm sure they will still be rerolling because you might want to reroll again, and then maybe even pick up Rin, because in this game, as we're going to break down later on, there are actually combo attacks and partners and team ups that you can do in this game. So you still likely would want 2 of the characters here rather than just 1, but that does really help in terms of rerolling. All right, so if we pause here, this is actually what the gameplay looks like in terms of the home screen. This, if we translate it right now, throw it up on screen, you can see Mina will be one of the first few banners that you can summon for. Then you do have the sales, you have the exercise where you're going to be able to get your resources to power up your characters. You got beginner guides on the top left that'll give you some free resources. You actually have a defense force pass, so there will be battle passes in this game. Thank you, Fortnite. And we go towards like the beginner's guide right here. You can see you are going to get some free 4 stars, also some free 4-star weapons, which we'll talk about in a second later on. So free tickets, and obviously you get Kafka as a 4-star. He will, I think he might be able to transform. There is a a footage of him transform, which I don't think is relevant towards the actual Kaiju 8 Kafka powered up 5-star, but at least this 4-star might be able to still transform, but not in his, probably likely not stay in a form. So this little phone right here is one thing that a lot of gacha games already have, where there's a group chat where you can like just talk in it. I mean, you can't actually type anything, but you role play as the main character or whoever the character you actually are playing as, and just talk to the squad and get some free rewards for doing it. I believe Nikkei also does this, right? And that's kind of a good way to get some free resources. I definitely do spam it, especially if they stack up over time. The big logo in the bottom right, of course, is going to be the story mode, and this is it here. The bottom one does look like to be the OC storyline, because it does feature the newer character, which is actually Kikuru's sister, I believe it is actually. So there actually is some lore towards it. I have got my friends to translate the top 2 ones here. I believe the second one says memories, and the other one is character. So there will be character-specific, actual story mode content, and also memories, maybe in the past or something, just to add on towards more characters. And we go towards this button right here. This is the exercise button, where you'll be able to go in and get some resources, which once again would be what you need to actually power up your characters. And it's actually a boss tab where you give us the kaijus, and you can see the rewards you're going to get, right? First time clears, you're going to get some medals, you're going to get some actual weapons too, but it is, would that be uncommon? Common? So nothing too crazy, but it looks like in this game, and we'll talk more about later on, is even though there are weapons, there are quite a lot of weapons. So it actually might not be, yeah, I don't know why they love this character, they constantly scream for him. Maybe he does something in the manga I'm not aware of. But there are quite a lot of weapons, so it is very likely you might know with the summon for weapons, and instead that would be what you farm them up for. And once again, you can kind of get a better look at the roster here if you haven't already seen it. These are all the 5 stars and 4 stars below. Funny enough, no 3 stars yet. So that's a bit weird, I guess. I can just let this play out if you lot want to see the actual gameplay. I mean, you can watch it yourself. There's already a little bit in the trailer too. But these, actually, like I said, the models look really, really good, man. They cooked with it, I can't lie. All right, so in terms of team building, this is how you build your teams here. You obviously build a team of 4 characters. However, there are, like, buddy systems in this game where the characters adjacent to each other, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, are actually going to get team-up abilities. So that is where characters will get a big, big buff. On the actual system updates on the website, they do say exploit partnerships between squad members to trigger follow-up attacks during the neutralization. Alright, then the next thing to do is show character team-ups. They don't actually show the team-ups themselves. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can kind of use anyone together. It's just certain characters together will probably likely have better team-ups. So kind of given the story of the anime, you can kind of imagine all these characters kind of being a good duo together. Once again, these ones are well working. And they, from the looks of it, they don't need just these 2 characters, right? They do use Rin with Narumi later on, so they also have a good team-up too. It might be more in particular towards the actual squads they're in. So yeah, right here you can see there are team-ups within the characters, and I'm not too sure if they click the button before the story mode actually starts here, but you're able just to move them around to showcase obviously what team ups you want to have, and it'll automatically switch for you. And then they get into towards the gameplay. So it's kind of like the start animation. There are like a lot of cutscenes that I figured would have been like them running towards the battle. Maybe that's towards more story mode content. This might be only exclusive towards like the little raid boss right here. But yeah, you can see right here, this is the menu. Now we could break down every little thing, but I guess we'll do a quick little just first look breakdown of how the actual system works. You can see the bottom, this is your stamina system. And I do like a little bit that it does show you the order even going past their current turn. I know come from the games that I played with certain stamina systems, they don't typically do that, so it's kind of cool a little bit. But you can see the order of how the people are going to attack here. You have got their single target skill, and in this skill right here, I mean, something could be AoE, right? But you have the normal skill. This skill right here has a meter, right? But it's not their ultimate. I think it's like a special skill. And when we get towards the character breakdowns later on, I think the more you power up, or you only have a certain amount of usage for it, but you can see character ultimates on the far right. And actually, it's actually pretty cool how they implement the character ultimates, because as we get to that part in the gameplay, you will see they're just free to use. You don't have to wait for a certain turn. As soon as you have an ultimate, you can automatically activate it. So then we go, you have obviously Narumi just doing his single target skill. Then you have Kikuru doing her single target skill as well, just doing damage with the boss. It looks like they have got like 3 enemies, but then Rin right here has got, I think, a bunch of AoE skills of a special skill. This is single target, but she'll likely kill him later on. And once again, I'm missing something. Why are they all screaming for him? I don't know. Alright, but this is important, right? Because this is when he entered, I believe they call it nuclear state. I think it's when the core is exposed, so you do like more damage. I think like from like Final Fantasy, when you pressure them essentially, right? But this is where the team-ups are a little bit more important, because whoever character breaks and enters the nuclear state, their team-up will then do a free attack. So obviously Narumi right now, you can see they enter the core, and then Narumi comes in for a special attack. That's because his partner character broke the actual, or went into nuclear state. And then you can see he does get a power-up too. So I'm not too sure if that's particular towards the character or obviously Narumi. So right here, I think they actually say special skills. I just put the corner, right? The bottom right skill, you can see they use a special skill, and they use like his retinal thing, which is actually pretty cool. Does a single target in towards the boss, but then you can see he's actually lowering his, from the looks of his stamina, because Kaoru's are getting up front a little bit. Then he gets his team up again, and I think voice line wise, he does see Narumi. So, I think this might only be exclusive towards, like, the Rumi and him if they're, like, a duo a little bit, and he gets a buff as well. And then Kikaru comes in too. And to kind of go back a little bit, you can see, rather than attacking the boss, he targets the actual, like, weak Kaiju on the left. And once again, to kind of go back a little bit to what we just said about it being exclusive towards, obviously, the captain, the Rumi, you can see right here, Kikaru does an AoE skill with a special skill. But because, I guess, her and Rin aren't like a duo, they still have combo skills together, but they're not an actual combined like character. She doesn't do a follow-up. I mean, honestly, that's pretty sick. Does open up a lot of team diversity when it comes to those characters. And there you go, she does an AoE skill, I believe, it looks of it, so she's gonna be probably one of the better like AoE cleave characters to clear through a bunch of Kaiju on the field. Yeah, I don't know what it is, they love this character, bro. And then you can see his HP bar as well. I mean, they could probably do a little bit of upgrade. I think that it could look a bit better. Maybe I'm just coming from Black Clover, but you can see it's just... There's 3 HP bars left of the boss. The boss comes in. Does his AoE damage skill a little bit. And then on the far right, you can see that ult was always powered up again. So all you got to do is keep attacking. And then boom, you can now see Narumi has got his active ultimate. And you can see, if you look at the actual like order of operations of when Narumi's attacking, he's last, right? He's not going to attack until the boss actually attacks it. But because his ultimate, if you actually click it right now, he will just jump in and do his ultimate. Which is actually pretty sick. So you don't have to wait for his turn. And he just instantly jumps forward. And as you can see as well, he can only use his ultimate. You can't do any other skill. So you are forced to use it if you click the button. So it's not like you can cheat a turn and do like another attack and get like a head start. But that goes for every character, I think, so far in the game. But it's overall pretty sick. It's not the one, though, like his powered up version. So you do know later on in the game, they are going to be using the actual, like, you know, 98% Narumi captain, like, special force character they're going to sell towards us a gacha. So yeah, now Kikaru attacks it, goes in towards the nuclear state, so his core is exposed. He gets her ultimate, I believe, as well. But like I did say, even though she does have a team up with her special skill, she does have a team up just for naturally being with the character. But because Kikaru got in towards the nuclear state, Rin then gets a follow attack for free. And for looks of it, hers is AoE. There's no one alive right now, so they didn't do AoE damage. But that, once again, she's going to be like the best AoE character. And then now you have, once again, more ultimates. So even though it's a turn, you can actually use the ultimate, which I think doesn't take up a turn. Yeah, so right now she used the ultimate. Which I think is another AoE ultimate. Yeah, she just like 4 AoE, boys. Apart from like her first initial skill. So, yeah, she can be pretty crazy. And then she uses it, but she still has her turn, right? Because once again, ultimates just don't take up a slot, right? Like turns. And then Kikaru jumps in. Use ultimate. Actually, some pretty good damage. I think maybe one of the strongest ultimates we've seen so far. And once again, it's still Rin's turn, right? I mean, I can actually already see a little bit, but like, you can imagine certain characters in the future having like really crazy ult charge and just like using the ult, using one skill again, ult again, and keep on recycling. It's gonna be mental. Oh yeah, now it's his turn. And once again, they're screaming. I don't know why they love this character. I think, yeah, his AoE is from the looks of it. Could be single target, but no one's up right now, which we can't see. And yeah, we kind of skip forward. That's kind of basically it. I mean, right now, the boss does get a chance to fight back a little bit, so we can kind of see some of his animations, because the boss, to be fair, hasn't done much, but you got to assume these characters are super leveled up right now. The boss actually did buff up and reset his little Kaiju characters, but once again, I think they're already pretty close to beating it. There is a warning, so I think the character gets a really big power-up during like, his final HP bar or turn. You might have to kill him quick before he does a massive nuke and kind of kills out the whole team. Yeah, you can see right here, does one big ultimate. So I don't think it's ultimate, but it's kind of cool animations. It's like you're playing like Conquest or like Grand Cross. It's kind of sick. Actually, I just noticed it here. It looks like his special skill. It's single target, but it looks like it stunned the boss, which is, yeah, normally kind of broken in these type of game modes. So, honestly, him and Narumi might be kind of broke together. And then, boom, Tax's core gets a big crit here, and that's kind of how the boss fight goes. So, yeah, that is kind of all the gameplay. I'm sure there might be some things we missed out a little bit, but until we actually get hands-on gameplay, that's like the best explanation give towards how the gameplay actually works. To be fair, they did play in 1 time speed, so there will be likely 3 times, 2 times speed, and you can alter it, so you'll be able to farm overnight or like just farm constantly. So yeah, that's all they showed for the actual gameplay in terms of the actual live stream, but there is still a little bit more we can break down in the actual trailers. Alright, so here we go. We get actual characters, actual skills a little bit, and also how the gacha system in a sense is going to work right now. So if we go back, you can see each character has a particular set of weapons, given of course who they actually are. However, I mean right now at least, release, you see Kikuru has got a battle axe, right? But she's the only character in the game right now that can use a battle axe. And we go back towards the initial image reveal of the little starting roster. You can see, obviously, just given a lot of the, normal Defense Force characters, a lot of them have got assault rifles, so they will be able to share, particular weapons between the characters. But then when you get towards, like, the axe, the gauntlets, the twin blades, only those characters will have it. But you can also imagine later on when we get another, Kikuru, they will still be able to share the axes between the two. But you can notice right here, the battle armor, the battle suit, I believe they call it in this game. I think right now in the anime, he's the only character that uses it, but it didn't be the OC character that also has it. So yeah, they probably likely will release OC characters that will use these axes. But yeah, for right now, Kikuru is the only character in the game that has it. We also translated it so you can see some of the actual stats. We also translated the skills so you can kind of see what they do, but it's just like normal basic attack stuff in a sense, right? But I guess the cool thing to notice is there are a lot of battle axes, right? And I mean, I guess this one right here is the one from the actual anime, so maybe that is her summonable actual weapon. But you can see there are substitutes, right? You have got other 5-star axes that you can assumably get by farming, and you can see right even below, there are a lot of duplicates of one particular axe, and there are, I think, a defined feature, so you will be able to max dupe weapons in a sense. And of course, the weapons do come with stats. And I think the most important part a little bit, it does say if the wearer, so that is implying it's not just Kikuru, it has the weapon, it's the wearer, so it does apply towards other characters. And of course, like I say, just the normal Defense Force characters and 4 stars. That is 4-star Mina, by the way, because her one does have like the Gatling gun. You can see these lot all do share the assault rifle, so you all will be able to get the same weapon. But yeah, once again, the twin blade, the 4-star version does actually have it. The 5-star version has the same one too. Here's her Gatling gun in a sense. Once again, right now, she's the currently only character in the game that has it. More assault weapons. Once again, you can see Narumi's actual weapons as well. You do see the gauntlets down below, but you can see you can't equip them. And then also we get the minigun, right? But the minigun's different towards like the bazooka that Mina has. But then once again, this is what I meant by like he's the only character in the game with the battle suit, but we did see that OC character will have in the future. And I guess I want to break this down a little bit. We weren't talking too much about the stats of the characters, but this one does say that the character does more damage when they're in the nuclear state, which is what we saw early on when you do get like the actual the core exposed. He would then, or at least this weapon type would then do more damage. And we spoke about at the start of the video, but this is like the closer group, which is like its own force, and these are so far the 3 OC characters, which is the little girl here. I think she's like one of the more the operatives in terms of, I think we go towards gameplay in a second here. Well, not gameplay, but actual like footage of like story mode cutscenes, assumingly. But I think the main one is Kikuru's sister. I think the lore is, right? And look, from the looks of it, more defensive character as well. And yeah, she's like the, what would you call it? Just strategic. She might not get the fight too much. She might even be a playable character, we know, right? But yeah, going back towards the other one, she actually looks really good, actually. I like the hairstyles they've done for the characters, but she's going to be definitely an upfront character. So yeah, guys, that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for once again more Kaiju content when we actually upload on this channel. There probably likely won't be anything else to cover a little bit until we get closer towards the release date. Maybe we'll make some other little stuff, but hey, we haven't got hands-on gameplay. There's no JP or KR version, so we won't know the best character summon for, the best reroll guys a little bit, if you even want to reroll, because you are getting guaranteed characters. But we'll definitely be covering. Looking forward towards it. Jenny cannot wait though, because I've been dying for an actual anime gacha game. The last one I played with Black Clover, and that was a little bit of disappointment, especially towards the end. It was alright at the start actually, but yeah, looking forward towards it. You can kind of see more team ups here a little bit too, which we didn't break down too much a little bit, but yeah, looking forward to, man. Can't wait, guys. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, hit the like button. It does help the video get out there, and I think this will probably be the best coverage of the game so far. And yeah, peace.